Hey there, welcome back guys. In this video, we're going to be showing you how to use press nuts. That's right. One of you reached out to me directly and asked, hey, how did you build that 3D drone with the O3 air unit and get it to stick? Well, we didn't get it to stick because we didn't glue it. We actually screwed them in. And I did not know. Back in the day, I think a few months back, one of our viewers slash subscribers, FPV Unknown, shared that secret with us. And I kept Googling and looking and asking other drone pilots who build their drones. I'm like, hey, what are those screw things called? No one replied. And that's why we made this channel, because a lot of times I have questions and no one replies, no one answers. But FPV Unknown, and if you're still watching and you're still with us, FPV Unknown, thanks, because this video would not have been possible without you. There is a video where I showed you how, but I think this one will probably be better. It'll be more streamlined with the times and life expectancy that you normally do have with the video when it does go online. All right, so without any further ado, let's get started. We're going to show you how to use the press nuts, and thankfully we have a drone on the hot press right over there waiting for you. We have our previous drone that we couldn't use because it broke. The strap thingy broke. You could jerry rig. A lot of these FPV drones, when they break, you jerry rig it until you can no longer jerry rig it no more. Kind of like your favorite pants. You keep patching them, which is what I did to my favorite shirt, which is a nightmare. Show you guys that experience in another video. But without any further ado, come, let's get started. It could be any drone that you 3D print, as long as you have the holes in there, which will be eligible for the press nut experience. See? Always wait for your prints to come off, but sometimes I don't. Sometimes I just take them off as soon as possible because I can't wait. But I always like it to be ready to print for my next 3D experience. So depending on how bad it is when it sticks will determine whether or not if I need to wipe the board. As you can see, I always keep it clean. But here it is right here. Let's have a look. Okay. So what you're going to need are your press nuts. As you can see, this one's no good anymore, and I'm glad I didn't throw it out because I saved it for the memories, thinking like, hey, maybe I'll use it somehow down the line. And sometimes, even if it's not for the memories, it's just hard to let go of your prints because the time and energy and effort that you put into it, it's just hard to say, okay, garbage, but knowing that moving forward. So here we are right here. You have to know which side is the top of the drone and which side is the bottom. In this case, this is the top, because I know because I built it. All right, so knowing that and moving forward, you're going to have your press nuts. Now, unfortunately, there are so many sizes, it's hard to choose from. Normally, when you order your press nuts, it doesn't come like this. As you can see, they're all mixed up between one and the other. So thankfully, I bought these from Amazon. I'll leave a link in the description, because with Amazon, if your press nuts come like that, it's returnable, no questions asked policy. Whereas if you went to the store, yeah, good luck with that. You might have to call your credit card company and they'd be like, you just contest it that way. You ordered something. Amex is usually good that way. All right, so knowing that, moving forward, just buying from Amazon or a local store that'll take the return, who will honor an experience like that, because I do not know what's what. All right, so the drone crashed. I'm like, damn it. I like to rebuild it again. So we need to find the right screwdriver to unscrew it, because we're going to need the original screws, right? So all you need is one screw, okay? And I believe that one doesn't work. And once you have one, you can pretty much work around the rest of them. And is that it? Yeah, that is it, actually. Just hard to see without my glasses. So if you wear glasses or your vision isn't what it used to be, it's always best to have one of these things handy. I'll also leave a link to this in the description. So yeah, so much better. So what you'll do is you'll take one screw out, okay, all the way. You can either attach it to the screwdriver or not. As you can see, experience is pretty interesting, but it still works, right? And it's always good to have an extra frame laying around, which was why I had one printed and handy, because if you fly the way I do, you're going to need more than one frame laying around. You're going to need... I've been doing pretty good, though. Anyway, but not good enough to have frames on standby, if you know what I mean. So this one will unscrew once you get it out. Oh, it's magnetized. Great. Totally forgot about that. So what you do is, now we find the right press nut. Press nuts are brass, so they're not magnetized, so you'll have to, I'm just going to guess. I think it's this one. I'm not sure. Oh yeah, it looks like it is. And just to make sure, we'll take one next to it. Just to make sure that this one isn't it. So you just have to test them out, you know, and see how they work. And there's one side in and one side out. See, this one's a little bit smaller. The other one's a little bit bigger. And so probably want to go with, and then just use your judgment. But not just that. You also want to go with the one with the experience that will be best for the frame, because while one is one way and one is another, probably the one in the end. I like them. They're a little bit longer and chunkier and less thin. Again, there's no rhyme or reason, but I'm just choosing for the best experience for this video too. Nice, this will definitely do the trick. So now I need 4. Okay, there's 2, there's 3, and there's 4. Now what you want to do is, oh wait, actually also double check, because they are mixed up, right? Yep, those are them. Yeah, so double check. And this will work with any soldering iron. Doesn't have to be a special one. It's actually this one that I never used because I used the pencil one. That's the only downside to the pencil soldering iron, is that you can't use press nuts with it. So I have 4. I have my screw. I probably will put together the screwdriver, because you probably want to see how it binds and flies. Not flies, but we'll just bind the drone together. Put that like that. Put this like this, and then push it in, and now it's ready. I'll leave this for another time. All right, so here's the tricky part. Have the soldering iron set to the lowest temperature possible. Again, the lowest. In this case, this one is lowest is 120 something, and I'll show you guys so you can see. I'll move the camera because you gotta see how it goes. And remember, you just want a soldering iron that has a temperature adjustable, okay? Gauge thing on it. That's weird. Probably too much blue. Yeah, see that? 392. We don't want it at 3. Well, it did go lower at one point. Anyway, have it set to its lowest temperature, okay? And then we'll bring it back in for you guys once we know that. I remember someone saying that my video was oversaturated one time. It wasn't me, it was the lighting. And so I just left it the way it was. Even though you shoot in D-Log, sometimes it just doesn't give you the best experience with the Osmos Action 4. Certain lights that come in just create a different experience. All right, so knowing that, moving forward, make sure everything's out of the way that could possibly melt accidentally. If you can't see where your eye thingy, you can, that's great. I have the press nut thingy attached to it, just in case, because I have so much time to record before the kids come home. Once they come home, we'll watch it because it's hot. They'll be like screaming and Dad, which is great, but that'll be the end of the video. All right, so I have to try and record before they come back. Silence the cell phone since it's not them, it's spam. So this is the press nut. You put this on before the soldering. See, it's just specifically designed. Now, if you're really good with your hands or your eyes, you can put this on without burning yourself. If not, then what you would do is you would use the tweezers. Now the part with the grooves, right, the lowest part, goes into the drone that sinks in. It's pretty hot. And that is the lowest temperature. Interesting. I thought it was like 1 something I had before. Anyway, on that note, and then what you do is you just press it in, okay, because it's going to be really hot, and you only get 1 take. It looks a little bit bigger. And you just press it slowly, slowly. Don't need to kill it. And then the last part, see, voila. The last part, since it's so hot, you can just press it in with your fingers. Not so hot, but meaning like hot enough to work with your hands, right? And then it'll just bind in. Okay, so that's one. And now we have the second one. Remember the little tiny part with the, and watch your fingers. If you have shaking hands, don't do that. Just use the tweezers. Same thing here. See, I'll just do it like that so we can see that one's in. Nice. And then we have, and what I like about it is that it actually holds it. And remember, even though they're called press nuts, you don't want to press too hard. Just gently. And then that's it. It went in, and now I can carefully use the remnants since it's hot. Not too hot, but hot enough to push the rest in by hand. And if it's not, you can do a little bit. Voila. See? Alright, so then we got two more. Remember, if you have shaky hands, just nothing wrong with shaky hands, but don't do like I do if you can't. Be like, I saw him do it in the video. Just use tweezers, put it in, and be careful because the other press nuts will still be hot. But you just want to do it so that it's straight in. No turns. For this part, you gotta keep it steady. Voila. Look at that. Kind of neat. Oops, almost forgot to balance it off. Just balance it so that the rest go in. See? It's a little bit. It'll cool off fast. Nice. Look at that. And last but least, again, if your hands shake, don't worry about it. Use a tweezer or one of the holder thingies, the alligator clip things. But even I shake. It's hard for me to keep it steady. Alright, and that's it. Almost done. Remember, slowly. Let the heat do the work. But not so slow where you're going to melt the thing. You know, like, because that will happen if you do it too slow. And sometimes, not every time, you might need to press it again. But nope, not here. Everything's good to go. We are golden. See? Look at that. Now, we're ready to pull a Frankenstein. You can shut your soldering iron off. Okay? Just remember there's a press nut thingy on there. And that's how you do the press nuts. But now, will it work? Yeah, it'll work. This is the nightmarish part. Taking the drone apart so that but you asked, and that's why we're here, you know, like, so I don't see it as a task. I see it as like, oh my god, that's so cool. Someone asked me to make a video. It's like having a store and having your first customer. Like, we got one customer. Just don't stalk them and follow them around. Like, are you gonna buy something? No, it's fine. I'm happy. Some people just like to remain anonymous, but I keep everything anonymous. With the contest. So when you win and you share your address, I don't. It's just between us. So don't worry about that. See, this part has to come off. So for this, unfortunately, you got to use the other head of the screwdriver because this is the 03 air unit, so it does require a smaller part of the screwdriver experience. And this is what's tricky about this one. I'll pull it out and then seat it. Pull it out. See, it doesn't go in. Ah, there we go. Nope. Welcome back to everything that glitches. Even screwdrivers glitch. I still have that screwdriver from 1 year ago. I still haven't unboxed. I should unbox it, right? Because it's a battery. It might just be worthless. Yeah, maybe I'll do that in one of the other videos. The smaller ones go to the frame. And this is it. You could build your own drone. You don't need, you can buy an 03 air unit, and as long as you have screws and a 3D printer, the possibilities are endless to what you can actually build. Yeah, I had someone reaching out to me out in Staten Island for the O2 remote controller, and they want me to come to Staten Island. I'm like, I'm not going to Staten Island. I'm like, you kidding me? I'll meet them halfway. I'll go to New York City. I'm not going to Staten Island. It's not like I have to sell it. It's not like I'm desperate to sell it. I do want to sell it, but I said meet me in Manhattan. So then I would just pay the difference for the O3 air unit, being that now it's backwards compatible. But it'll sell. I've never had any trouble selling. The only thing I have trouble selling is the O3 air unit. Those of you who I've sent packages to, you have my number, and if you Google it, you'll see that I still can sell the Get Bar C Cinelog 35, and I keep lowering the price. I guarantee if I say free, my phone will be ringing off the hook. But I'm not going to sell it for free. I'm not, I can fly. You've seen me fly manual. Just not, it's not my thing. Once you do the motion controller, you get spoiled. I love it. So I'm not, if it doesn't sell, it'll just be right there. But it could, I think someone else who's really into that can benefit from it. See, and that's this one. So this one's gonna go right here. And if you keep looking, we're not gonna pull a 3-card Monte. The other one is right here. So there's no rhyme or reason when it's up or down. Just how you put the antenna in. See, voila. So that's the tricky part. The antenna. Can't remember how I did the antenna. See? And then we can just put the first screw in, and then pull the antenna to where it needs to be. Oops. And be careful, because once this thing falls apart, it's a nightmare. So just try to hold everything while you can. And even though I'm screwing it, make sure none of the bumpers didn't come off, because that's a nightmare too. Alright, so we got that in, which is great. Might have to loosen it a little bit. It's a little tight. You could always make it tighter towards the end. See, that worked. It doesn't move, doesn't budge. The press nut, meaning. We just gotta get. Oh, I see what's blocking it. Okay. The one of the bumper guards, bumper thingies. So now you see. Now we do this one. Make sure it's centered. This is a bummer though, because the folks that build the drone wrong, you have to take it apart. If you get an error where you put it all together and the drone doesn't bind, like, wait, I'm pressing the remotes. It could be because Ricardo taught us that one. If you bend the pins on the O3 air unit here, you can check and see and put it back. But if you bend the pins in there, you got to take it apart. Oh man, see. One of the bolts came off. Now I got to figure out where it goes. Ah, this one might be easy. Might be. So again, watch all the bolts, nuts and bolts. No, because that one goes in there. Damn it. Alright, it happens, even to the best of us. So what we do is, remember, this is where you have to be careful. See, that one popped out, which is fine. The tension's there, but now the tension is in the air. Oh, nice. This one I might be able to use, sort of, but I might be able to squeeze in. See, that's the hardest part. If you can get a tweezer in there, that would be great. Because then I can just finagle it, right? There's a rubber bumper. Got it. And then just hold it with your fingers. If you can. Got it. And then what you do is find that bolt really quick and then put it in. See, that's the tricky part with these things. You get used to it after a while. I'm pretty sure, because we have some experienced folks who watch the channel, and they're probably thinking like, what's taking him so long? I like to work slow. Slow and steady wins the race. But yeah, as you can see, we got it. So before you tighten them, make sure that everything is where it needs to be. Nice, that one's there. Great, see? Voila. And that one needs more tightening. You might want to make it tight too. I remember when Ricardo came here, one of our subscribers from Long Island, he traveled 3 hours. His was so tight. He had no jello or anything. It was amazing. I was like, how'd you do that? But see, what I'm doing right here, screwing it is fine, is one thing, but there's another hex nut that has to be turned. So you need like a mini wrench. So no matter how tight you make that, but it's fine. I used the rock steady, see? And then, but if you do it correctly, you would do it the other way, the way Ricardo did it. With Ricardo, one of our subscribers, and probably the way FPV Unknown would have done it too, or even Afix, because they really know their stuff. I do too, thanks to them. But you know, oh, and then just make sure everything's tight, because with one of these, you're not going to be able to tighten because of the position without taking it off again. See? And that's pretty solid on there. Yeah, no, that's not going anywhere. Nice. And then remember, just pull the antenna to where you want, because you don't want the antenna. Check your propellers, because sometimes it requires an adjustment. Nope, nothing's touching. See? Nothing, except we have to watch the O3 air unit. Make sure that goes there, and then voila. Now we just screw this. Of course, before we screw that, we have to change the screwdriver head. I'll leave a link to this file in the description, because if you have a drone, any drone, you can have a Gep RC or Synolog or Betaflight drone, and if you crashed it and you just want the O3 air unit, you can pull a Frankenstein and just transfer it, you know? Alright, knowing that and moving close. See, the screwdriver doesn't, gotta pull it out and then somehow, and then push it back in when it's like that. It's fine. It's just like $4 screwdriver. And now, I don't. That's why I haven't opened up the other one, because it was a gift, and this works just as good. And then what if I want to screw something in and the battery's dead? Then I got to charge it. I don't like being tethered to my electronic devices, like that need to be charged all the time. Like I just wish it can be on standby for a long time. So this part we just got to do there. See, once you get one in, you can get them all in, because it'll all just magically align. That part I like about DJI. They somehow manage to make things work magically, as long as the other person made a template based on their specs. And according to this, I guess maybe DJI and Beta FPV work together, or it could be a subsidiary. It could be another company within a company, and we don't know, right? And we just think it's DJI. See, it spins, but it was not spinning because it was the O3 air unit wasn't lined up correctly. So remember, if the props don't spin, it's because it's just not centered correctly. And once you center it, whoops, it will be golden. And then we just gotta, whoops, that part's a little tricky. We just gotta make sure. Got it. See? And before you tighten it, make sure they spin. See? Voila. Just it's magnetic. Whoops. Nice, we got it, I think. No, almost got it. It's all right. I see where it is. Sometimes the last one can be tricky. If I can make the light. Ah, there we are. I think there are 3 settings to this light / magnifying glass thingy. Voila. We're not done just yet. That's tight. Just tighten them all. Check the wires. Make sure nothing is going to accidentally hit the propellers. Right? Because that's the last thing you want. That's good. And do that. No wiggle. Nice. And that's it. And that is how you use press nuts. This one, I think the top one could be a little bit tighter. But not too tight because it's plastic. Remember, the inside of the DJI frame in here is plastic. So you can strip it if you make it too tight. Just make it tight enough so that it just holds. Alright, so now the last part. See, we check our propellers. Looks good. Looks good. Looks good. And looks good. Just move that a little bit there. See? Voila. And to see if they work, we will just do this. Oh, actually, that goes here. And this goes there. So I can find it later. We'll leave this here. And take a battery. This will be a short one. Put this here. This should connect, or it should turn on. Okay, and now, oh, the drone's right here, but I have to get the remote so I can make sure you turn everything on first beforehand. One thing I forgot, but I don't think I'm going to use this yet. Is this thing. With this, you have to run it underneath. Make sure you put this on. Okay. What's up? My bling, right? All right, so yeah, so for this part, you'll definitely need tweezers. And then, if you can see, oh, it's just beeping because it's probably looking for. Oh, that's about to shut off, which is nice battery saving feature. This you definitely want to look because you don't want to accidentally break something. So I want to make sure I only pull the Velcro, except I believe it's backwards. Okay. So remember, only pull the Velcro. Don't accidentally touch anything because you could break it. Alright, so that takes care of that. Here. Put the battery like this. And then put this like this. See? And then that holds like that. The main goal here is to make sure that the propellers spin. Okay, so knowing that, moving forward, remember you don't have a lot of time when doing this. Oh, nice, and it's already set to look for the O3 air unit. So for this, maybe I'll just do it like that. Let that do that. It should find it. If not, we'll have to sync it. You can do like this. See, it's red. Ah, it's sunk. Nice. I didn't have to do anything. Oh, everything's sunk. Just make sure I'm in angle mode, which is great. And then now I can just press this, to start it. Whoops. See? And I can fly it a little bit. Hold on. Let it go up. Whoops, see? So it works. We're good. Everything is golden. And yeah, nothing rubs. And, you know, make sure nothing's connected. We could try that again, because that'll help cool the unit off, and then see, it's hot. It's fickle because it has these accelerometers, so sometimes it just knows what's left and right. You see how it speeds up, like it's depending on. Watch your fingers. Shut it off. Yeah, and that's it. And that's how you make your own FPV drone with the L3 air unit frame, of course. And then, you know, making sure that nothing is touching with the propellers, because sometimes that happens. And if it does, you just, you know, finagle it. You'll figure out how to work it, how to center it. You'll know too when you hear it, but also make sure nothing is touching when it comes to the electronic components / parts, so that like the propellers are one thing, like see, these are fine, but if you accidentally get the wires caught in there and they touch the propellers, then it's no fun. So just always double check your work. You know, sometimes it's not you, sometimes it could be the frame, or, you know, things. And just double check after the propellers have spun, right? Because maybe things got shifted a little bit, so maybe you have to unscrew it, the frame, right? So that it moves more to the left or moves more to the right. But in this case, it's fine. You know, it doesn't have to move more in any direction. It just needs to be flown. And hopefully, so you can be shifted more that way. But then that's just a little overkill, you know, when you get into it like that. But see, here it's fine, here it's fine, here it's fine, and there it's fine. It has all the space it needs to turn, and nothing. See, you do that. Actually, that's a better test. See, do that. Maybe spin that one the way it's supposed to spin that. See, nothing rubs. You don't hear any like that. All right, that's it. Anyway, I hope this video helped you in better understanding on how to use press nuts to put your drone together. And if you have any comments or questions, feel free to leave them down below, or ideas for other video. And thanks to you for that one. And I'll see you all next time.